So you will have seen in a previous video that I've already reviewed Jason Aaron's run on Thor, God of Thunder, the first arc that he did called Thor the God Butcher. And now I wanted to review the second arc, which goes from issues 7 to 11, and this is called Godbomb, and it's the concluding half of the God Butcher storyline. Starting with issue 7, as you can see here, I just wanted to give another shout out, in case you've not seen the first video, to the artwork by Esad Ribic, which continues to be absolutely amazing in these books. Just to give you a sort of taster, there's a picture of Thor the God Butcher, there's another there. The artwork is just absolutely, it's beautiful. It's some of my favourite comic book artwork I've seen in a long time. So anyway, following the conclusion of the first arc, we then pick up Godbomb, and it's sort of establish, what Thor the God Butcher's plans are. Now, essentially what he's doing is building a bomb the size of the planet that when it explodes, it will sort of transcend time and space and kill all gods who have ever lived, are living, and who will ever live, and render the universe as we know it godless. As you will have seen in issue 6, if you went and read that, Thor the God Butcher really doesn't like gods at all. So they do continue, as I mentioned in the previous video, to have all three Thors from different eras. We have Young Thor, Avenger Thor and King Thor. All three continue to be in this, and through a sort of series of events actually end up teaming up, so you have the three of them together battling Thor the God Butcher. This is something that's done really well and actually leads to some laugh out loud lines of dialogue in the story. Now, there is one line where, like, Avenger Thor tells old King Thor, I really hate time travel, and King Thor's just like, yeah, you always will, and then asks him, have you moved to the sun yet and become a cosmic god cop? And just throw away lines like that that I thought were really funny. Those are just two. I won't ruin all of them for you, but those just give you a taster of the sort of, even though this is a very dark and oppressive story, especially this Godbomb arc, it does feel very oppressive and it's quite hard to read at times. It's quite bleak. Jason Aaron manages to stop that from becoming overwhelming by injecting just the right amount of humour in there to sort of almost lift your spirits while you're reading it. That's not to say because it is oppressive that it's bad, because it's not. I absolutely loved this concluding half of Thor the God Butcher's arc in Thor, and thought it was absolutely fantastic. Now, I was sort of a little bit worried as to how they would resolve this, and how Jason Aaron would finish his arc off, and how they would sort of resolve the conflict between Thor and Thor, and what we would do, because I think it would be quite easy for it to feel contrived. But the way in which they do resolve this story arc it feels very natural and very sort of organic within the context of the world that Jason Aaron's established for Thor, and the story that he's already telling. It's a very satisfying conclusion, a satisfying ending to this story arc. The artwork by Esad Ribic is absolutely gorgeous throughout. I absolutely love it, and I hope, because after issue 11, after the conclusion of Godbomb, he's left the book, but I'm really hoping that he comes back for future story arcs, because his artwork's just absolutely incredible. So just to give you an idea of what the covers look like, here's issue 7 and issues 8. 8 is Godbomb Part 2. You have issue 9, which is Godbomb Part 3, issue 10, Godbomb Part 4, and issue 11, which is Godbomb Conclusion. Absolutely fantastic storyline. I would highly recommend it to fans of Thor, and I do think that Thor is one of those characters who, if you haven't read Thor before, it may seem quite sort of almost intimidating, and like, it may be a character that you can't relate to and stuff, but honestly, in having 3 different versions of Thor throughout this storyline, especially the younger Thor, it shows that, even though he is a god, he is fallible, and he does make mistakes and makes bad decisions and bad choices, and Jason Aaron succeeds in making the character relatable. And as far as the continuity goes, while this does exist within Thor and Marvel's continuity of what's happened before and prior to Jason Aaron taking over the book, it is a very standalone story arc. As I mentioned in my review of Thor the God Butcher, it in no way feels sort of let's put it this way: you could read this story arc having not read Thor before, and you'd absolutely, be all right in understanding everything. Once you get to issue 12, which I'm going to review in a future video at some point, once the Accursed storyline is concluded, you do start to sort of see that Jason Aaron's tipping his hat to Thor continuity. But in this story, in Thor the God Butcher and the latter half Godbomb, it is very standalone, so you can rest assured that you won't need to know your sort of continuity in order to enjoy this. So Thor God of Thunder, the first two arcs, Thor the God Butcher and Godbomb, are absolutely brilliant. It's definitely one of the most consistent and one of the best monthly comics being released by Marvel at the moment, and I would highly recommend you pick it up. I would really appreciate it if you guys wouldn't mind letting me know what you think in the comments to this video. I do always read them, even if I can't always reply because of this Google Plus thing that they're doing. Please try and avoid major spoilers, but I'd be interested to hear what you thought. So thank you for watching this video, and as I said, there will be plenty more Thor comics being reviewed in the future. Thank you.